I'm going to go back into the admin section here and just show you something. If you look at a game sheet and you see a name on it, and when you go into that game and you're selecting all the different players and you see that that player is not actually down on their team, it means he hasn't been added to them. So what you need to do in that case is go up here to the top tabs and go to players, and then you go to add player, type in his first name or initial, say D, whatever, YTR, pick the team he's playing for. We'll pick Bangor Chiefs. Is he a goalie? If he is a goalie, select that. If he's not, say he's not. Current player, yes. Number, doesn't really matter. We'll give him number 21. All these other ones are there, but we don't do them. And then you go down to the add button, and that would add it. Once I click that, that would add a player called DYTR to the Chiefs, but I'm not going to do that now because there's no such player. So basically, if you're doing a game sheet and you see there's a player's name on it, maybe he's a new player, he hasn't been registered, he's only just registered with the team, you'd need to go in there and add him to that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that might be a pitfall for anybody doing this for the first time. Be very careful when you're looking at the game sheet that you're putting in the right result for the right game on the right date. And I'll tell you why, because I have deliberately picked these two teams as an example for this game sheet. And it's something that's happened this season, and we've sent a letter around to the clubs. On this game sheet it says Cyclones A versus ECB. Now these are two teams who have two teams in the league. Cyclones A have been registered as their B team. Their B team is basically called Cyclones A, and their main team is called Cyclones. But the way that officials have been put it down all year has been Cyclones A and Cyclones B. So you need to be careful. If you're putting down this game, you don't look at it and say, oh, Cyclones A, that's their B team. It's you just go by the players. You know, I think everybody who'll do this will know what players play on what team, and just look at it and say, okay, well, this is not Tony Sinton's team. This is their B team or whatever. And a game of East Coast Blaze, their second team, the team without Corey and Flack on it, is called ECB. Their second team with Ginger on it is called Blaze. So just be very careful when you're doing that. You look here to see referees are all signed and stuff, and the captains have signed it as well. Now, let me think of something else. Any other problems that have come up this year? If a player is down, say this has happened to me in the past where I've scored a goal or got an assist and I've come to do the game sheet and it's been wrongly credited to a different player. You can't change that. Okay, so if I'm playing on a team and my teammate gets given the goal, I have to put him down, because once the two captains sign that sheet, it can't be changed. I had to do that last year, and I tell you what, it really annoys you when you have to give someone else a goal that you scored, but it has to be done that way. Likewise, there was a situation this season where people didn't look at the game sheet properly. The captains signed it right. Team A were playing Team B. Team A won, but on the game sheet, right? So in the game sheet said that Team 1 here won the game and Team 2 lost. But actually, up here they were called Team 1, Team 2. But down here, it showed it as Team 2 won and Team 1 lost. Now, the stats showed that it was actually Team 1 that won the game. I was at that game and watched it, so I knew that it was true that they had won the game. But the two captains had signed it. So I went to Pippa and asked them, well, what do you do in this situation? Because we know that this team won, but the players have actually signed off that their team lost. He said in that situation, on that occasion, he says, look, send a letter or an email out to the teams, let them know that this happened, tell them to start checking their game sheets more often. In future, that kind of error could lead to a team not necessarily dropping points, but I think what we kind of talked about is that maybe if people don't start reading the game sheets before they sign it and there's mistakes made, that basically all the players on their team stats for that day may be white. So the result would stand, but you wouldn't get the stats. just in a way that we haven't decided, and that's just all speculation. But I'm just kind of showing you an example of problems that can arise. If you come across problems like that, you'll all have my mobile number or my email address. Drop me a line and I'll help you out. Okay, so hopefully this has come across all right, and it'll give you a good idea on how to do it. And that's basically it. Okay, so alright, that'll do it.